4 people went to the hospital with injuries,
Oh my God.
and 1 person died.
Oh no.
I don't know any of their names, and I don't know any genders, so I don't know.
Was that because they fought each other, or is that
I don't know. I don't know what their injuries are. I was with Sandy the whole time, and then when I kind of turned Sandy over to Ernesto and Amy, then I came here. So I have no idea what their injuries were.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
This is the moment everything changes. Nicolae Miu has just learned that one of the teenagers didn't survive. It's a turning point where his self-defense story starts to fall apart. The calm facade he's maintained suddenly cracks. You can see the panic, the disbelief, the realization setting in. How did it come to this? In this video, we'll break down the interrogation of Nicolae Miu, uncovering the subtle clues, the psychological tactics, and the body language that reveal the real story behind the Apple River stabbings. July 30th, 2022. What started as a sunny tubing trip on Wisconsin's Apple River ended in tragedy. By the end of the day, 5 young people had been stabbed. One of them, a 17-year-old boy, was dead. The man at the center of it all? 54-year-old Nicolae Miu. He claimed it was self-defense, a reaction to a chaotic confrontation. But just hours later, Miu is no longer on the river. He's sitting in a small interrogation room at the St. Croix County Jail, wearing an orange jumpsuit, face-to-face with Special Deputy Lieutenant Brandy Hart. What unfolds next is a gripping police interview, one that would become a key piece of evidence at his trial. In this documentary-style analysis, we'll walk through Nicolae Miu's interrogation, step by step, from early rapport building to the intense climax. We'll examine how detectives methodically peel back the layers of truth. Along the way, we'll spotlight key interrogation tactics, nonverbal cues, and the subtle dance between deception and honesty. You'll also be part of the process. Interactive segments like Spot the Clue, Truth versus Lie, and viewer theories will challenge you to look deeper, to read between the lines. Our tone remains clinical and authoritative. We focus on facts, psychology, and analysis, never sensationalism. Now, let's step inside the interrogation room and listen to the silent stories told by gestures and words alike.
Hi there, are you Nick?
Yeah.
Hi Nick, my name is Brandy.
Hi.
I'm a lieutenant with the St. Croix County Sheriff's Office, okay? You got some water, right?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have you had anything to eat?
No.
Okay, let me,
I will wait for now.
Okay.
For food.
are you sure?
I'm not hungry.
Okay. Well, if you get hungry,
Yeah.
just let these guys know, okay? Or let me know when I can,
I'm just very, very thirsty.
yeah, I bet. Let's move along.
Out on the river drinking beer all day and not drinking any water.
And it's hot, and, yeah. Being in the sun all day, doesn't matter if you're drinking beer. Sometimes just, and then this, yeah. So I would imagine that you have some questions for me.
Well.
I am just going to go through the rights form and, let you know if you want to answer any of my questions. We'll talk about that. I'm going to record our conversation if you're okay with that.
Of course.
Let's see, today is the 30th of July, and it is 7:53 p.m. How do you spell your first name?
Nicolae.
Okay.
Last name, no middle name.
No middle name, okay.
No.
And what's your last name?
Miu.
How do you spell, or how do you pronounce that?
Miu.
Okay. And what's your birthday? Do you like to be called Nicolae or Nick, or
Nick.
what? Nick, okay.
Yeah. December 11th, 1969.
Okay, so that makes you
52.
52, thank you. What's your address, Nick?
5945 Hidden Oaks Circle, southeast
Holy cats, that's a mouthful.
long one, yeah.
Hidden Oak Circle.
Sure.
I don't even know if I have enough space in this thing.
You do, southeast.
Southeast?
East.
Oh, southeast. Thank you for
Yeah,
correcting
no
me.
problem.
And that's
Prior Lake.
Prior Lake, okay. What's the zip code in Prior Lake?
55372.
Okay, and how about a phone number for you, Nick?
612-735-6317.
6317, and I understand you're married to Sandy,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yeah. Is she okay?
She is, yeah.
You talked to her?
I did talk to her. I talked to her for quite a while. I brought her to get dry clothes.
When Lieutenant Hart mentions she's already spoken with his now ex-wife, Sandy, it sounds polite, even casual. But it's anything but. It's a strategic move, a quiet signal that investigators have other sources, that any story Miu gives can be cross-checked. Watch closely. At the mention of Sandy, his fingers twitch, just slightly, a subtle reaction. But it speaks volumes.
Where is she?
She is with Ernesto and Amy.
Okay, good.
They're taking good care of her. And then
Titi, my puppy.
she's headed home to take care of the dog. And she's also with Ariel and who's his girlfriend?
Oh God, I don't even know.
Is it Tatiana?
No, Tatiana. Tatiana is another girl.
Okay.
But she's not.
Hold on,
with
they gave
Ariel.
me...
Yes,
Oh, Sandy didn't know Ariel's girlfriend's name.
neither do I.
Okay. But Ernesto and Amy
They,
came to where I was with Sandy, and they went and got the car, but I had brought Sandy to the car to
she
get
was
changed.
driving, right?
No, she was with me. I brought her from the river to the car
Okay.
so she could get clothes, and we brought the cooler back and put that in the car, so she's got all the stuff.
All right.
Are you working anywhere now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where do you work?
I work at Reach Engineering as a mechanical engineer.
And what kind of engineering? What was that?
Mechanical engineer.
Yeah, what's the name of your employer?
Oh, Richie,
R-I...
TCHIE, engineering, in Blooming. 55427, I think it is.
Okay. What was the last grade that you completed?
I have a bachelor's, and I have actually 2 degrees, one
Okay.
in engineering, one in mathematics.
Wow.
And I'm a class away from a master's in both. I'm not a dummy, and I've never had a run with the law, except when I got we'll go into
Okay.
that.
So where did you get your degrees from, your undergraduate
South
degrees?
Dakota State University.
Is that the Bison?
No, the Jackrabbit.
Oh, okay.
In Brookings.
And how about your master's degree? Where are you working on that?
I'm not working on it yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I did pass the EIT so that I could work
Gotcha.
for the state as a licensed engineer, but I haven't had a chance to do that. For many years, I worked as a contracting engineer. And then for the past 16 years, I've been working with Richie Engineering, where I met Sandy.
Okay. What does Richie Engineering do? Like, what do they manufacture?
What do we do?
Hart starts with routine questions. Name, address, work history. It's not just small talk. It's a textbook rapport-building tactic. It serves 2 key purposes: to put Miu at ease, and to establish a behavioral baseline for truthfulness. At this stage, Miu's voice is low and gravelly. His eyes stay downcast. He looks exhausted, likely crashing from an earlier adrenaline spike. Meanwhile, Hart's tone is calm and empathetic, non-accusatory. She's not confronting him. She's inviting him to speak, without feeling attacked.
Do HVAC service equipment.
Okay.
Basically, we're the top tier of HVAC. We're like the top brand, and top brand for that is Yellow Jacket.
Okay. And is that for the parts?
The brand of yeah. Everything we make there, we make it under the Yellow Jacket brand.
Got it.
But
Okay.
the company name is Richie Engineering.
Okay.
So what I do everything from hoses, recovery machines, all the electronics. I talk to customers, I get business, I do the documentation, the design. It's a small company,
Okay.
so I like to do everything. testing, evaluation, you name it. And
Wow.
16 years over there, and that's not even scratching the surface.
Really?
Well, I have bigger dreams now,
Yeah.
shattered, but anyway, I don't want to talk about them right now.
Okay.
I don't know exactly what happened, I just don't, I can't talk about it, I need to go one step at a time.
Yep.
Miu's first substantive words aren't about the incident or the victims. They're about himself. Bigger dreams. Now shattered, he says, his voice trembling. It's a revealing statement, one loaded with self-pity and shock. It shows he's painfully aware that his life has taken a devastating turn. Hart doesn't interrupt. She simply nods, patiently. Her strategy is clear: give him space, keep the environment non-threatening, and see if he'll start to open up. Listen closely to Miu's phrasing. I don't know exactly what happened. Right from the start, he's creating distance. This kind of vague denial is common, especially when suspects approach the most incriminating parts of the story. It's a potential red flag. But then, he pivots. I need to go one step at a time. That line suggests something different. He does have a story to tell, just on his own terms. Hart picks up on it immediately. She doesn't press, she guides, gently encouraging him to walk through those steps.
So I would like to ask you questions about your day today, what happened, like how you guys got to be in the Apple River today, and then like what your day was like.
Mm-hmm.
It's up to you if you're willing to answer questions. If you decide that, yep, I'll answer questions right now, and in 10 minutes you don't want to answer anymore, you just need to tell me that, okay? And if you don't want to answer questions right now, then that's fine too, and I will leave. It's up to you.
All I can say, it was self-defense. Self-defense, there are lots of people on it.
Miu repeats the phrase self-defense twice, almost like a mantra. Repetition like this isn't random. It's a tactic, conscious or not, used by suspects to reinforce the version of events they want believed. A narrative they're trying to cement in their own mind and in the eyes of investigators.
They came on to me. Self-defense, and they produced 2 weapons, one I took from them.
Okay.
That's the only thing I can tell. And they hit me, and they were on top of me, and I don't remember anything after that. I just remember I ran away. I ran away to my...
Notice how he handles the most crucial moment. When it comes to the actual stabbing, he rushes through it. I don't remember anything after that. A sudden memory lapse, right at the point where violence erupts. Instead of describing what happened, he skips ahead to, I ran away. That gap isn't just silence. It's where a lot of truth might be hiding.
There were actually people coming over from my group to see what was going on. I said, nothing, just get back on. And they kept asking, and I said, nothing. I didn't explain to them anything because I was so fearful. I didn't know what these people were doing to us. I've never been in a situation like this, where people produce weapons and they were saying, they were calling, I don't remember, but they said, don't run over, don't run from us, don't do this, you're a child molester, you're this. And I said, are you people drunk? Or you're a child molester. I said, the only thing I remember...
As Miu recounts this part of the story, his demeanor shifts. His eyes flare slightly at the phrase child molester. The accusation clearly strikes a nerve. He looks offended, animated, reliving the indignation. He's crafting a narrative where he is the victim, a harmless 54-year-old man, unfairly taunted by a group of rowdy teenagers. But across the table, Hart stays composed. Her expression is neutral, neither agreeing nor challenging. She simply lets him talk and keeps listening.
In my mind, if I'm a child molester, should you be drinking? Should you be drinking alcohol and doing what you're doing to people that you don't even know, attacking them? And I said, if I'm a child molester, you should be having alcohol, you know. And they took my, I was snorkeling, so they took my snorkel away, they threw it in the water, they grabbed my pants, one wanted to pull my pants down, and I grabbed onto him, and I don't...
Here, Miu adds a dramatic detail. They tried to pull my pants down. He repeats it multiple times during the interrogation. It's a charged claim, suggesting physical humiliation or even the threat of sexual aggression. Whether it actually happened or not, Miu clearly believes it supports his self-defense narrative. It paints the teenagers as violent aggressors, and himself as someone under siege. Hart doesn't challenge him. She listens, silently processing, making mental notes as he continues building his version of events. Watch Miu's body language as he describes being attacked. His breathing quickens. He gestures around his waist, mimicking the moment his swim trunks were allegedly pulled. It could be a genuine stress response, his body reacting to the memory of a perceived threat. Or it could be embellishment, a deliberate attempt to add sensational detail to make his story more persuasive. But once again, Hart doesn't press him. She lets the moment pass, allowing him to keep talking uninterrupted.
I don't know who that kid was, but he had a knife on him. And then there was another knife, a longer knife, looked like a kitchen knife. Kitchen or something, I don't know. And I don't know what happened to either one of them. I just know that when the kid attacked me, I took that from him.
The kitchen knife or the other
No,
knife?
the smaller knife.
Okay, what did that knife look like? Do you remember?
I don't even remember.
But it was smaller?
Smaller, yes.
Okay.
So, that's all.
How did you get to be by them? Or who are these people?
So, Ariel lost his phone.
Okay.
The phone was in the floor.
One of those bags? That
Yeah.
Okay.
And everyone had one, but his phone was in the floater, so he says, well, let's go look for it. So I put my snorkel on, and I looked, and these guys found something. And they were talking about it, and I said, okay.
This group of people?
This group of people,
gotcha.
yeah. I went over and I said, did you guys find the phone? And if you did, can I see it? Can I identify it? And they started calling me names. They got off of their tubes. They came at me. Like I said, all I need. And they were calling me all kinds of names, insulting me for being in the water with a snorkel. And I said, all I want, guys, did you find the phone? And I saw they had found something.
Okay.
All right. And I don't know if there was a phone or something else they found, but they wouldn't talk to me about what they found. And we were looking desperately to find this phone. And I know somebody found it, but I thought it was that group.
Okay.
You know, and then they went over, they came to me and they grabbed my snorkel and they threw it in the water. Well, the water was so fast, it went under. So I went out after it, and they started, another group of mostly girls came over from the other side, yelling at me or calling me child molester and something with something like that. And I went back. I actually after this incident, I don't even know what happened.
Okay.
I just know that they attacked me, and I was in self-defense. I went into self-defense mode, and then I went over to my group of people. That was it. And they asked me what happened, and I wouldn't tell them. I said, I can't tell you. Let me calm down.
Okay.
I was shocked. So nobody on that knew exactly what happened. The only thing they said, well, look, somebody got in an argument over there. Like, yep, let's just leave that alone. Don't go there.
Are you able to draw for me, like, where you were looking for the phone, like, and where was Ernesto and Sandy, and where was this group? Maybe help me kind of understand. Yep.
These guys were here. I don't know how many. There were quite a few.
Okay.
We were upriver about 100 feet. Our group was here. And
So you guys were in the water?
yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So we were in the water. And then there was another group of people over here that came to attack me. So there was this group of people here, this group of people that attacked me. They attacked me here.
So your group was floating down the river like this?
Actually, we're stopped. But yes, this is the
That's the direction you were
yeah.
going. Okay, so your group is stopped.
Yeah.
And who's looking for the phone besides you? Like, how do you know the phone's missing?
Oh yeah, we talked about it. I yelled
okay.
Those phone books, and I lost my phone. And so, well, you didn't lose it. It's floating down the river.
Because it's in that bag.
Yeah, so let's go find it, you know. And he was over here pouting that he lost his phone, and I said, that's okay, I have my snorkeling gear. And then I heard this guy said that he found something. And when I was snorkeling down, I passed him. I kept looking, and then I came up, I kept looking, and then they started yelling and screaming, and I said, did you guys find something? And I thought they did. And I know they did, because they were hiding something from me. And then I went over there and they grabbed my snorkel, they threw it down, they got off their tubes, they came after me, they pushed me, one of them hit me, and then there was a girl that came from here and hit me in the back of my head. And I was about right there.
You said right here?
When she hit me, yeah.
And that's when the female hit you?
Yeah. And she was coming from another group over here, I don't know how many people were in there. But
were these guys stopped?
Yes, in very shallow water.
Okay, so it's really shallow over here.
Shallow there.
Okay.
Pretty much the two sides are shallow. Yeah.
Was it how deep do you think it was when you were like snorkeling around with your phone?
4 or 5 feet.
Okay.
Not very deep. And the water was very murky, so I could not see anything
really?
through my goggles. But those goggles are lost. They took them, they grabbed them off my face and threw them in the water.
We found the goggles.
Oh, good. Thank you.
And the snorkel.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
Are they connected?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
And they're just like regular snorkel goggles, right?
Yeah, I had them over when I went to the Caribbean.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do they look like? Just to make sure we have
White.
the right ones. White?
Well, transparent plastic with a white snorkel.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Is that it?
I think we have them.
Okay.
Was there any? Did it seem like these groups were together?
After they came after me, I don't know. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I think so. I mean, I feared for my life. Tell you the truth, when they started hitting me and pointed a knife at me, and then another kid pointed a knife, I thought that was it for me. Luckily, I took it from one of the young kids.
Nicolae presents himself as a passive victim, someone who simply defended himself when attacked by that many people. But the evidence tells a very different story. According to court records and backed by witness testimony and video footage, Miu threw the first punch. He struck Madison Cohen, a female, on the left side of her face, before anyone laid a hand on him. Only then did the group react. Only then did the chaos erupt. So when Miu claims he wouldn't actually do anything to provoke them, that's a lie that wouldn't be exposed until later. Because in this moment, Hart doesn't confront it. She lets him keep talking, lets him continue weaving his version of events.
And I think that's when I swung back.
What did you do with it?
I don't even know.
Okay.
I don't know. Absolutely, I don't know. I don't know if he got it back. I have absolutely no idea.
Did you hit him? Like, did the knife make contact with him?
That I don't remember.
Okay.
You were so close.
Sure.
And one had it in his hand, so I took his hand and I bent it and I poked him with his own hand. And then I took it from his hand and then I went and swung like this. So I don't know who I hit. I just know that I took the knife from one of the kids.
Okay.
The other one, I don't know what happened to. I didn't get hit. Because as soon as this happened, I started running across. So I went across to my group, and then my group was wondering what just happened. Was it? And I didn't want to tell them anything.
Just because you didn't want to.
I didn't want to get anybody aroused. I didn't want my group to go say, well, we're gonna go talk to those kids. No, they were too drunk. I believe they were too drunk and too set on going after people, I think.
How did What were these guys doing? Did
There
they
was
know,
this-
did they know anything was going on?
No.
So they didn't know you were getting punched or?
Well, they saw the scuffle because at one point, Ernesto was coming towards me like, hey man, did you find anything? And I said, no, I didn't. I don't know. These guys must have it or something. I don't know. And he says, okay, well, he will just get another phone on Monday. You were concerned about getting the phone. And like, okay, so what are you doing? I said, I don't know. I'm just gonna go late to sit in my thing. And then Sandy said, okay, are you okay? And said, I don't want to talk about it. You know, and then they asked me, hey, what do you want to do? You want to stay here? You want to go down? And I said,
At this point, Nicolae Miu has laid out a broad narrative. He was insulted, surrounded, acted in self-defense, then fled the scene. Now it's Lieutenant Hart's move. Her job is to drill down, press for specifics, expose contradictions, and look for subtle admissions. She stays calm, composed. But make no mistake, the psychological chess match has begun. Let's break down the tactics and the tells as this interrogation moves forward. Hart's first tactic is simple, but effective. She lets Miu talk, uninterrupted. By holding back from challenging his story right away, she creates the illusion of trust. And that illusion is powerful. Suspects who feel they're being heard often begin to overshare, or stick to their rehearsed narrative a little too long. That's when cracks can start to form. Miu, encouraged by Hart's patient nods, begins offering more detail. And with detail comes risk. The more he talks, the more likely he is to slip. Hart begins asking gentle follow-ups, her tone still neutral, non-threatening. What did you do after you ran back to your group? Miu replies that his friends asked what had happened, but he told them nothing. I wouldn't tell them, he says. I needed to calm down. That detail is revealing. Even to his own friends, he gave no immediate explanation. Why? Was it shock, or was it because the truth was incriminating? Hart doesn't react. She simply takes note. Because often an innocent person might instinctively blurt out, "They attacked me." But Miu stayed silent. Throughout the interview, Hart is doing more than just listening. She's watching. When specific topics come up, especially weapons, Miu's body language shifts. He starts rubbing his palms on his thighs. His eye contact breaks. These are classic stress indicators. Signals that something beneath the surface is being triggered. Hart notices, and she zeroes in. Bringing the conversation right back to that sensitive topic.
I want to go down. And then some girls from my group heard that something was happening over here, and they said, well, we're calling the police, and I think they called the police.
Okay.
One or two, I don't know.
Did you see any of that? What was going on?
No.
When they decided to call the police?
No.
Okay. Did you have a knife with you?
No, absolutely. No.
Okay.
I had one earlier that I used to cut, but right at the beginning, and I left it I don't even know what I did with it. I think I either gave it to one of the people, or I put it back in my truck.
Here comes a critical juncture in the interrogation. Miu flatly denies having a knife during the altercation. He only mentions a pocket knife in passing, claiming it was tubing gear and that it was left in his vehicle. But here's the problem. Multiple people were stabbed. A knife was clearly used by someone. Hart knows this, but she doesn't react with outrage. No accusations, no raised voice. She stays composed, in control, letting the denial hang in the air. Another thread she'll return to later.
Okay.
Yeah. So it may have been, I tell you the truth, I don't even know.
And that was after you cut the string?
Yeah, we needed to have something to cut the string over there. They don't have any knives. So,
But you had one with you today, right?
the what?
A knife to cut. How did that,
I think it's in my car.
okay.
Yeah. I think
Did you drive or did Sandy drive?
I did.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
I don't even know where it's at, to tell you the truth. It may be in one of the bags we had with us. It may have been in I don't know. Maybe I left it, put it back in the car. Because I went back with a bunch of, I had straps. I didn't want to pay for string. But they say string
You
is
can't.
cheap.
Well, they probably don't want you to have straps.
But they told me, they said, yeah, if you have straps, there was a kid over there. If you have straps, no problem, but the string is free. So I said, okay, I'll take the string.
Okay.
You know, and then I took the straps back. So, because straps can puncture the...
Yeah.
So I had a whole bag of straps that I took back to my car.
Okay, and so maybe the knife was with the strap?
Probably.
Do you have any cuts or marks on you? Have you had a chance to like look at your
No.
torso or?
Somebody was telling me that I'm bleeding from my ear, from my left ear.
Who told you that?
Oh, I think it was Amy. They said, Nick, you're bleeding from your left ear. I went like this, I went in the water, I cleaned, and then I don't see any blood. You know, and I don't know if you see any cuts, but
I don't.
Yeah, so I don't know why I was bleeding from my ear.
But Amy saw blood?
I think she says you're bleeding from your ear, Nick. And then I cleaned and I said, look, there is nothing. Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if it was blood or if it was weeds she saw. I have no idea. We were like, she was on the other side and I was just...
Yeah, so she's over here, right?
She's over here, yeah, right here.
Oh, so she's closest, Amy's over here, closest to the shore?
Yeah.
Okay.
With the nestle right here. And I was over here somewhere in one of these.
Okay, and you got back in that tube then when it was time to go?
Got back in my own tube, yes.
Okay. Did Ernesto come and get you?
No.
Like, did anybody know that you were getting
No.
punched or
No. No.
was anybody?
They wanted to talk to me about the phone, if I found the phone, and what did those guys say, and I said, they probably did, they don't want to give it up, they attacked me, and that's it. And then I said, let's go, I don't want to be here.
Yeah.
So they don't know what happened here.
You didn't tell anybody?
No.
Okay.
No. You're the first one to know.
Okay.
That's why probably Amy and everybody else is so surprised.
Well, they're worried about you.
Yeah.
I mean, and even Ernesto was like, I don't know how the hell this happened.
They don't know anything because I didn't know what to tell them.
Yeah.
I really don't know. Everything happened so fast. I really don't remember why they attacked me. I don't know why they took my snorkel away. I don't know why one of them wanted to pull my pants down. I don't know why they were being so mean. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know. And why did they want to scare me with a knife? I just don't know why they're scaring people on the river. It's a family-oriented river with knives and you know what they did.
So was it two males that had knives?
I
The
saw
two
two
men?
males.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
And were they both from this group, or do you even know?
Well, that I don't know.
Okay.
One of them was from this group. The one
Okay.
that I took the smaller knife from, I think, was from this group.
Now Miu doubles down. He spins a more detailed version of events, this time claiming the teenagers introduced the knives. He says he managed to wrestle a small knife away from one of them. It's a pivotal moment. If true, it could support his claim of self-defense. If false, it's a significant lie, one that suggests conscious guilt and fabrication. Hart doesn't flinch. She hides any skepticism and asks the logical follow-up.
Okay, so you took the smaller knife.
From one of them.
And is that the one that you said that you kind of went,
Yes.
basically like...
Oh, I was going like this. I wanted out. They were coming and they were punching me and they were circling me and they came really close. They were pushing me in the water and I just grabbed the kid's knife. I didn't even know if I was holding it right. I just grabbed it from him because he tried to poke me with it. So I feared for my life.
It sounds like...
I was very shocked. I was extremely shocked. I couldn't even say anything to anybody. I had locked jaw. I don't know. Right now, I don't even know how this happened, how I got away from all that.
So when they were pushing you in the water, did you go underwater, or did you remain standing?
No, I tripped.
Okay.
I tripped and I fell in the water a couple of times, yes.
Where on your body did they hit you?
In the back of my back. And I know one of the girls came over and slapped me right over my right ear. I couldn't even see what they were doing because I was tripping over the stones, and I was falling down, and they were just jumping on me.
I'm going to show you a picture and see if you...
I was fearing for my life. I'm still fearful that they're going to find out who I am and go do something to Sandy. And possibly some of these people over here. I fear that somehow they're going to find out who I am and continue their whatever that was. And I don't know why they're so hateful. And I just don't get it. I mean, this is the second time I come to the river, the first time for my wife, and I promised her it was going to be a beautiful outing and nothing to fear. We had lots of booze. She didn't drink because she was the designated driver. But most of us did, and there was another girl that didn't drink on the other party because they wanted to drive home. We ate well, we had music, everything was so good, so good, so good. Of course, I had a lot of alcohol, who doesn't, you know.
Well, you had a sober ride. So,
yeah.
And I don't smell it on you. Were you drinking beer or vodka or what?
No.
Okay.
We don't do hard liquor because then we dehydrate too fast and then we get cramps.
Okay.
So after my quadruple bypass, I still have cramps.
Oh,
wow. I'm scared because I'm not even okay, I'm just going out there. Russian not even going to get down here. But surgery has on my wrist, I was both working, so, but, and then missing here, and then my leg, but they here, they don't care that you have that too, there's anything on my leg, I have to get this, so it's what that was it, this my last 5 hours. So I was in pretty bad shape. She was because I was in hospital for the first time, and then the hospital, they did a great job, you know, medical hospital, a lot of the hospital for heart surgery, you know, one bladder. So,
were you on your phone at all during your day today? I know that Sandy didn't bring her phone.
I took some pictures.
Okay.
Then I put it away. Sandy does not like to take a lot of pictures because then they get posted on
Facebook or Instagram or something.
Yeah. But I'm okay if they take them, if they post them. Yeah. I did take a few, didn't have a chance to do anything with them.
Okay.
Yeah, but I was not on the phone, I didn't call anybody.
Okay, did you use your phone around the time,
No.
like right before, you know, you were looking for the phone or anything like that?
Not me.
Okay.
Not like these guys are constantly on their phones. That's why IDL lost his.
Because he was on it too much?
People can't enjoy life, you know, nowadays going down the river without being on their phones. Of course, they take a lot of pictures, but the picture is not the same experience as being there, so I don't know.
So do you think the pictures that you took were like at the beginning of your journey, or where do you think?
We did take, I took a couple of group ones where they have that music place in the bathrooms.
Okay.
We made a stop there to eat sandwiches. There were a lot of people over there. That beach was completely full. Lots of people there, lots of people. It was a beautiful day, except
It was.
this.
Do you
And this now, we'll probably close that place down.
You think so?
Yes. Well, I don't know what resulted of it, because I don't know.
Is this you?
Yes.
Okay. What do you think was happening at that time?
They were fighting me. They pointed the knife at me. They pointed the knife at me. Both boys pointed the knife at me.
Okay. Did you see anyone take this picture of you?
No, God, no. I was actually very, very scared.
Yeah.
I was very scared. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what they were doing and why. I mean, I understand they were drunk, but you get drunk, I get drunk, we all get drunk. We don't do that kind of stuff, especially on a river like this, family outing. We don't do that kind of stuff. But I was very, very scared. I didn't know what was going to happen next.
Did you see the woman that hit you in the ear? Did you see her at all?
No. I turned around, she hit me again.
Okay. Do you remember what her bathing suit looked like?
No.
What she was wearing?
She was just yelling at me and calling me child molester. That's how it all started. They kept calling me a child molester. I don't know, out of the blue. And then they wanted to beat me up because they said I'm a child molester. And then my argument back to them was, if I'm a child molester and you're children, you shouldn't be drinking. You should not be out here drinking, okay, and doing what you're doing. Where are your parents?
Did they look like they were young?
Oh, I don't know. I think they look pretty young to me.
Okay.
I don't think they were of the age of drinking.
Really?
Yeah. I think. I mean, I don't know. I don't hang out with people like that. My generation and the people I hang out with are much older people.
Like Ernesto and Sandy.
Like Ernesto and Sandy and Amy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amy's probably one of the youngest one there.
Sure.
45, and Sandy is 61.
Yeah.
So I'm younger, you know.
So you said that they were standing really close to you.
They were on top of me. They were pushing me, shoving me. I tripped. I fell down. I got up. And that's where I saw one of the kids there. It was the closest kid with the knife, and I grabbed it from him.
And that was the smallest.
Yes, yes.
And he was in front of you. Was he as close as we are, or
oh, he was closer. He was closer. He was closer. But as soon as he came with the knife, I grabbed the knife from him. And what I did then, I mean, I shouldn't show you, but I grabbed, twisted his arm and poked him with his own knife. Then I took it from him and I started swinging.
Okay.
So I swung. I don't even know who I hit.
Okay.
I don't know if I hit the girl that hit me twice in the head from behind. I don't know if I hit another kid. I don't know. They were just on top of me. They chased me, hitting me and yelling at me and calling me, insulting me. That's it.
Okay.
So I don't know what knife they had. I don't know. I just saw two knives. That's it. The longer one and the shorter one. Okay. I don't know where they are. I don't know who's got them. I don't know.
Miu's story about the mysterious knives doesn't hold up. He describes two knives, but can't explain what happened to the one he supposedly took from a teen. Investigators already know. None of the victims and none of the witnesses ever reported the teenagers wielding knives. And when police searched the scene, along with Miu's belongings, they found only one knife, his own, discarded among the trees. At trial, Miu would later admit he lied. He did have a knife, and the teens never pulled any on him. But during the interrogation, Hart doesn't call it out. Not yet. Instead, she shifts focus, subtly testing the consistency of his story in other areas.
So what I'd like to do is I'd like to get a sample of your DNA, because if these knives don't belong to you, I would imagine your DNA is not going to be on them.
Well, I touched one of them.
Yeah, you touched the one you grabbed.
Yeah, from the kid.
him.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to give me a sample
Yes.
of your DNA? Okay.
Yeah. Is that the good thing?
Well,
I mean, I don't know. I don't have a lawyer over here to ask.
Yeah, and certainly, so...
Should I wait?
Well, I've got a colleague that's in the process of writing a search warrant, so we're going to get it one way or another. I just thought if I could ask you, and we could just do it right now, I'll show you how to, what we would do.
I know what it is.
I would just get your DNA
Well,
sample. Yeah, it's like a big Q-tip.
Yeah.
We'd also like to do an exam, have a nurse examine your body.
That's absolutely okay.
Okay, and I want her to look in your ears, and I want her to look at your back, and, you know, the people that are in these groups, we're going to try to collect evidence from them, because they might have your skin underneath their fingernails, or, you know, we're going to do our best to get any evidence to, I mean, we just don't know what happened.
Yeah. I mean, and I know everything that happened in the river, so...
Well, yeah, there's that part of it, too, but,
Definitely.
okay,
Yep, yeah.
okay,
You can tell me.
okay.
I just don't know if I had a lawyer present, what he or she would say.
Well, I just want you to know that we would get it anyway.
Okay.
I've got a coworker that's writing a search warrant.
If you would get
for the
it
judge.
anyway, then let's do it.
Okay, with the court order, or just let's do it now and get it done?
No, let's do it now and
Okay.
and give you what you need
Okay.
to start your
Yeah.
proceedings or your search. Yeah.
Well, and yeah, I mean, if you sound like you were really afraid.
Yeah, I have a quadruple bypass. I have been out of shape. I have been in bed for a long time, for 6 months at least. I couldn't go to work. I'm not in the best. I mean, I was just floating down the river. Nothing much. Every once in a while I got up so I could pee, because I can't pee in the thing there. You know, shouldn't tell you that on camera, but yes, most people have to get off the thing. So I got out. I would get up and then hold on and then get back in. I mean, I don't do anything to stay in shape. I'm a guy that wants to survive and keep working at reaching engineering, you know, and why these things happen, it's beyond me. I mean, I don't understand. I mean, why would that many people come down on one person that didn't absolutely do anything, take his goggles, almost one wanted to pull my pants down. So
Did your trunks have like a drawstring?
Yeah.
So they didn't come down?
Oh, no. They came down a little bit, but no, because I have a drawstring on it, so yeah, they couldn't pull it down. But why? All of a sudden, they were like, whoops.
Miu begins to emphasize how badly outnumbered he was, and how innocent. His tone shifts. It's emotional now, almost pleading. For the first time, a note of desperation slips through. Maybe the reality of his situation is starting to sink in, or maybe, sensing Hart's quiet skepticism, he's doubling down on the victim narrative, trying harder to convince, because he knows the story is beginning to crack. By now, we know the truth. Miu's portrayal of the teens as the sole aggressors has been discredited. Video evidence and multiple witnesses confirm they didn't attack unprovoked. He struck first. So when Miu asks, almost rhetorically, why would that many people come down on one person? There is an answer, because he instigated the fight. But Hart doesn't give him that answer. Instead, she pivots. It's time to move to the next phase of her strategy, informing Miu of the consequences.
Around me, and they were attacking me from all directions, and I truly feared for my life. I didn't know what to do. I mean, these guys were talking over there. I didn't know what to say. I mean, I was just...
Which guys are you talking
My
about?
guys.
Okay.
Yeah, my guys. So, and they were quite a bit distance, so they didn't see anything. I don't think they saw anything. And...
So when you go back to your tube, do you guys get the hell out of there? Or
No.
do you what do you do?
We stayed there.
Okay.
Yeah, the girls called the cops. We didn't know what to do. And we stayed there for a long time. There were people coming. We even saw the sheriff coming. And they kept saying, oh my God, they didn't know what happened. So they said, oh my God, what happened? So there was a fight, And I said, yeah, I don't know what was going on after that. I thought they were still fighting. Personally, when I came back, I saw a whole bunch of people coming over there and yelling at each other, and I thought they were still fighting for some reason. I didn't know what was going on. So I personally wanted to stay and watch to see if the cops get them for fighting, you know, for whatever they were doing.
Sure. Okay.
So I wanted to be a witness to them fighting.
Gotcha.
Or if the cops needed a witness, I wanted to sit there for as long as possible. And then the group said, well, there's so many people, I don't know, let's just get going. We don't want to get involved in this. I was just in there. They attacked me. Yeah, but look at them now. They're attacking each other. I don't know what they're doing. So cops came, and we stayed there for, I don't know, another 10, 15 minutes.
When the police were there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we decided we'll go. Nobody asked me anything, and I said, I kept my mouth shut, and down the river we went.
Okay.
So I was very shocked. I didn't know what just happened, really, to tell you the truth.
Well, Sandy said that you were quiet.
I was very quiet.
And you didn't really talk.
I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
I mean, I get excuse my French, my ass kicked by a whole bunch of kids. What am I going to say? I just got my ass kicked by this kid, now the police is on top of them. Well, I think something's going to come out of it.
Yeah.
So I thought the police was there because they were fighting, you know, because these were just boys. And they were being obnoxious, not only picking on me, then these girls came over and hit me.
So these are girls over here?
Well...
Mostly?
Mostly.
Okay. And this was all guys?
Yeah, I didn't know who was in this group, but I know these were all guys because I was snorkeling back and forth, and I asked them if they found something, and they said, well, you know, they started calling me a molester. Then I got up, and one of them took my goggles, threw me in the river. I went after them. One of them wanted to pull my pants down. And there you go. So what happened? Can you tell me what happened?
Yes. 4 people went to the hospital with injuries.
Oh my God.
And 1 person died.
Oh no.
I don't know any of their names, and I don't know any genders, so I don't know.
Was that because they fought each other, or is that
I don't know. I don't know what their injuries are. I was with Sandy the whole time, and then when I kind of turned Sandy over to Ernesto and Amy, then I came here. So I have no idea what their injuries were.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
This is the climactic moment of the interrogation. Hart delivers the devastating news. Someone has died. Now watch Miu's immediate reaction. He doesn't ask, who died, or how did it happen? Instead, he asks, were they fighting each other? That response is startling and revealing. In a split second, Miu's mind seems to jump to one possibility. Could the death be blamed on someone else? It suggests a powerful instinct for self-preservation, that maybe, just maybe, in the chaos, one of the teens accidentally caused the fatal wound, a desperate hope that the blame might shift. Now pay close attention to the sequence. When Hart says, one died, Miu's face flushes. He instinctively pushes back in his chair. A clear physical reaction. But what comes next is telling. Before showing any sorrow, shock, or even asking who died, he deflects. His first response is a question, one that aims to shift the blame. Were they fighting each other? That reaction is a critical clue to his mindset. A genuinely innocent or empathetic person might respond with something like, "Oh no, who was it?" Or "That's terrible." But Miu's instinct is different. He's not focused on the loss of life. He's focused on whether he can still avoid responsibility.
So we just need to be able to, like, piece this together, you know, in your statement.
What other pictures did they give you of me?
It's just that one. That's the only one I have.
They didn't take, they
Well-
have lots of cameras, you should take their cameras.
Yes, and so I have colleagues,
Yeah,
investigators that are talking to all of those, you know, the people in the group and the other witnesses. So yes, we are trying to collect. And I told Ernesto and Amy, because they said that Rosie was taking a lot of pictures.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't think she took any pictures of those guys. There was,
Well-
at the stop up here.
Yes, but
Yeah.
you were snorkeling. They might have been like taking a
Oh,
selfie or
I see,
something,
I see.
and
Yeah,
we
yeah,
could have
yeah,
gotten,
yeah,
we
yeah.
could get these guys in
Yeah.
the background that they don't even realize they have it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
So I asked them to go through their photos, so
Right,
that we
right,
would
right,
be
right. Yeah,
in contact with them.
Got it. I was, all of a sudden you say that, it's like, why would they take pictures of me going over there?
No, you just never know what you get in a picture.
Yeah.
If they're sitting here waiting for you and Ariel to find the phone,
Did you find his phone?
I don't know. Again, I've been with Sandy pretty much the whole time, and now I came here with you. So I do know, I did get a message that the goggles and the snorkel were found. So that's all the information that I have about, like, items that were located.
No, my whole life is down the tubes.
Well, I don't know if that's the case. Because people have the right to defend themselves.
I know, but this is Wisconsin.
This is Wisconsin.
Okay. You continue on. I usually know that people that defend themselves, they end up being accused of being this and being that.
Well, I think if you'd asked me what I would have done,
Yeah,
I mean,
let's not say
I don't
that.
know.
Yeah, you don't know.
I don't know. I would have been scared shitless, I can tell you that.
When that many people
Yeah.
try to pull your pants down and hit you, and two boys had knives on them. They didn't find any of those two knives?
I don't know. I don't know, but we're looking. And, you know, we're looking before it gets dark out. Okay, right now it is 8:40.
I'm glad I actually took that kid's knife. He would have stabbed me. He was not there to scare me. He was there to harm me. At least I'm here. But I'm sorry for how it ended up. Still scared, like I said. I'm scared that they're going to be finding out where I live, and they're going to be hunting us at night, and they're going to be hurting my wife.
Well, I will call Sandy as soon as I leave here, okay, and just check in on her. Find out about your medications. Have you had any medicine this morning?
No, I take them in the evening.
Okay, you take them in the evening. What would happen if you don't take them
Nothing.
tonight?
Nothing. I'm not even hungry, to tell you the truth.
Okay. But if you don't take your medication tonight, is that life-threatening?
I don't think so. No, I mean, granted what happened today, I was shocked. Yeah, but I don't know. I don't think so. I just can't believe what happened. They need to maybe do sobriety tests on minors on that river. Maybe they need to.
Then, in a bizarre turn, Miu abruptly shifts the conversation. He starts blaming the culture of underage drinking on the river. The change in topic is jarring. He's no longer engaging with the news of the death. He's rationalizing the cause of the brawl. This could be a coping mechanism. By focusing on external factors, Miu may be trying to distance himself emotionally. A way to deflect the guilt. But it's also strategic. It continues his pattern of blaming the victims. now implying that their intoxication sparked the aggression and ultimately led to the fatal outcome.
Put an end to drinking, underage drinking and doing drugs. The river over there is turned into a sewer. My second time, and I have dragged my wife out of there, pretty much against her will. I promised her it was going to be the best day. I made promises. We're going to have a great time with this.
But she didn't want to go?
No. She always says, oh, places like this, all they do is smoke pot and do this. Yes, there is a lot of pot smoking over there. We don't know who's legal, who's illegal. I don't know anything about Wisconsin laws, but you can smell it. It was everywhere in the air. Yeah. And I don't know what people do, because you do the DNA, you can find out, what type of drugs are in my system. I've never done any of that stuff, so I don't know. I'm very clean, and it's as clean as they go. You looked at my criminal record, you can keep digging, there is nothing there, because I don't have anything, not even one parking ticket, not a...
The Interrogation of Nicolae Miu is a textbook example of how a suspect builds a narrative and how a skilled investigator patiently pulls it apart. Over the course of this hour-long exchange, we watched a man fight to justify his actions as self-defense, only to have those claims quietly but systematically dismantled by the facts. Now let's recap a few key takeaways from this case. Psychological pressure versus empathy. Lieutenant Hart's approach was calm, methodical. By offering empathy and holding back direct accusations, she made Miu feel comfortable enough to keep talking. And that was the key. The longer he spoke, the more his story began to unravel. On its own, the real pressure came strategically. Not through force, but with precision. Especially when she revealed the death. This interrogation wasn't about breaking him down through aggression. It was about balance, letting the suspect feel heard, while quietly guiding him toward the truth. Suspect's narrative versus evidence. Miu framed himself as a terrified man, surrounded by violent, out-of-control youths. To support that version of events, he lied about key details, including the claim that he didn't have a knife. But the objective evidence told a different story. Witness accounts, video footage, forensic analysis. They revealed that Miu was the one who initiated the confrontation. He did bring the knife, and he continued using deadly force, even as others tried to flee. This case is a powerful example of how suspects often alter facts to make themselves look better, and how a skilled interrogation, patient, methodical, can bring those contradictions to the surface without the suspect even realizing it. Body language and reactions. Throughout the interrogation, Miu's body told its own story. He avoided eye contact when lying about the knife, crossed his arms defensively under pressure, and when Hart revealed someone had died, his posture collapsed, followed by an immediate "oh my God" and a deflection of blame. That moment was revealing, not just for what he said, but for what it showed, a deeper concern for himself than for the loss of life. These subtle cues gave us a glimpse into his psyche, and they serve as a reminder. In high-stakes interviews, how something is said can matter just as much as what's being said. No confession, but damning nonetheless. In the end, Nicolae Miu never gave a full confession. He didn't say the words, "I stabbed them," but that didn't matter. The interrogation was still incredibly damning. Miu's lies, his evasions, and his clear awareness of the knife he claimed not to have, all worked against him. Prosecutors later used this interview to impeach his credibility. When he took the stand in his own defense, they played the tape and pointed out every contradiction. The jurors could see it for themselves, how Miu tried to mislead Lieutenant Hart and failed. Ultimately, the mountain of evidence and Miu's own contradictions caught up with him. In April 2024, a jury found Nicolae Miu guilty on 6 charges, including first-degree reckless homicide, for the death of 17-year-old Isaac Schumann, the man who claimed he feared for his life. will now spend a significant portion of that life behind bars. He was sentenced to 20 years in prison for the Apple River stabbings. This case leaves us with a tragic truth. 5 young people became victims. One lost his life, and another man's life was ruined by his own actions. The interrogation offered a rare window into Nicolae Miu's mind, not just as he grappled with what he'd done, but as he tried to convince himself and others that he had no choice. Inside that small interrogation room, through careful and ethical questioning, investigators slowly untangled fact from fiction. In the end, justice wasn't served by a confession, but by the weight of the evidence and everything that surrounded Miu's words. Thank you for watching Silent Stories. In this episode, we peeled back the layers of a suspect's account to find the truth beneath the silence. Remember, in any interrogation there are always clues. In the words spoken, in the gestures made, and in the silence in between. Stay curious, stay critical, and we'll see you in the next one. Critical, and we'll see you in the next one.